So we'll be talking about tea shortly. Tomorrow is International Tea Day. Before we introduce our guests in the studio and talk about tea, let's hear the day's proverb. City?
Yes, today's proverb is from Uganda, and it has very little relation to tea. It's more a dog with the bone. Okay? A dog with a bone. And you're here. A dog with a bone in the mouth cannot bite you.
A dog with a bone in the mouth.
In the mouth.
Cannot bite you.
And not a dog looking at a bone. That one will definitely bite you.
Not a dog bearing a bone.
No, not that one. A dog with a bone in the mouth will not bite you.
So what are they saying here, the Ugandans? Feed your dog. Keep your dog's mouth busy. Maybe, right? Let's introduce our guests so we also get to hear their perspective on this. From Kiptagich Tea Estates Limited, we have the general manager with us in the studio, Anthony Moai, and the sales and marketing manager, Nicholas Cheriot. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Nairobi.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
It's good to have you on the show. You're from Kiptagich Tea Estates. Before you tell us about that, Mr. Moai, when you hear that proverb from Uganda, a dog with a bone in the mouth will not bite you. I saw you smiling and thinking, okay, you're trying to interpret this one. What came to mind?
Well, proverbs have different meanings depending on the context where they are. And when you talk of a dog with a bone in the mouth, obviously, literally, it means that the mouth is busy chewing the bone. So it will not bite you.
So the context is make sure the dog has a bone.
It has a bone in the mouth. In the mouth.
Yes.
Yes.
Nicholas, what do you read out of this?
I think what I read from this is that someone busy cannot do anything else, or he will concentrate on that thing. He cannot do anything because he's chewing something.
Keep them busy.
Keep them busy.
They will not bite you.
Yes.
See what politicians do to us now.
Essentially, you are suggesting that they're not busy enough.
The politicians
they're not busy enough.
Politicians are keeping us busy with all these stories.
So we're the ones who are being kept busy.
Yes. We have a bone in the mouth. We are not able to bite them. They will do their thing. Okay, welcome to Nairobi. I keep telling you this because you're from Kiptagich. Where exactly is the Kiptagich Tea Estates?
Kiptagich Tea Estates Limited is in Nakuru County, Kulesoi South Sub-County. We are 120 kilometers from Nakuru town and 60 kilometers to the west of Moro Township. Yes.
How big, when you call yourself tea estate?
Yes.
How big is this farm?
Kiptagich Tea Estate is one of the largest tea estates in the country. And in terms of the acreage, we have over 2,450 acres. And out of these, 1,200 acres are planted with tea. The rest of it, we plant trees for use in our boilers. And the rest of it, about 30%, is natural ecosystems because we want to conserve the environment. Yes.
How old is this estate, and when did you start production?
The estate is quite old. It started way back in 1970s, and but for the factory, that is planting of the tea. But for the factory, it was commissioned in 1995. Yes.
So there's a factory.
There is the tea estate where we plant the tea, and then there is the factory for processing that tea.
Okay.
These are two different aspects.
Okay.
There is the tea growing, and then there is the tea processing. But now you need the two. You need the farm to produce the tea, the green leaf, and then you need the factory now to convert that to the tea in the drinkable form that we know of.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, oftentimes when you talk about the tea, we all assume that we know what tea is. And I think it's always important. On this show, we like being clear on definitions. Let's define tea. What is tea?
Tea can be defined by different people in different ways and depending on where they come from. But for us to be very specific, you cannot say anything is tea unless it is that leaf derived from a plant we call Camellia sinensis. That is the
Sorry. Camellia who?
Camellia sinensis. This is the scientific name for the tea plant.
Okay.
So anything that does not come from that particular plant, it is not tea.
So these things we say hibiscus tea, those are not tea.
Those that we call the hibiscus tea is trade name because at times they could be blended with the tea, or at times people get used to certain types of infusions. Actually, in tea trade, we call them infusions, not tea. But because they are blended now, some people tend to use it in the trade. This is hibiscus tea. But if it is not derived from that plant, the tea plant, the one we have called Camellia sinensis, then it is not tea.
Yes.
So when you hear of I'm referring to now the generic and term, or the terms that we laymen use.
Yes.
South Africa, something called rooibos.
Yes.
Does it come from this same
Camellia.
anatoka camellia pia?
Oolong.
They're coming from the same family, but now the method of production is different. Because when you see rooibos is a bit of, it's not like CTC they currently produce in Kenya.
What is ETC?
Okay, in tin, because you said it's a well-established process, and then there are tea types. You see, there is CTC, there is orthodox, and then there is, of course, the specialty, the one Antonia said about the hibiscus. So when you talk about CTC, is the actually most highly consumed tea in Kenya is basically CTC. That is the process where we say cut, tear, and curl. That's undergo that process.
To add on to that, the tea, once you get that tea leaves now, the way that tea is processed, and there are various ways of processing that tea, you will now come out with the various types of teas.
Okay.
Still tea, but various types. For example, when you talk of the conventional way of making tea, there are machines that he has referred to as CTC. So you make tea using that process, you come out with the various types of teas. There is also what we call orthodox tea. Orthodox tea will also be made, but in a different way, with a different type of equipment. And at times, we have also what we call the specialty tea, which at times does not even need any machinery. You just use your hands, it's an art, and you come out with the tea. So when you get all these assorted types of teas, at times you will be asking, is this really tea? But at the end of the day, it is tea.
That's very interesting, because I'm just trying to do the picture in my mind, the videos that we've seen, or like when we pass by and we see the tea pickers picking up the little leaves.
Yes.
So when we see these different teas, then the assumption is that it's a different bush, it's a different plant. So are you saying that the little leaves that you're picking off, the different teas that we get are as a result of the process?
It is the process.
Okay.
The process makes all the difference. The same tea that today, if all of us are plucking that in the farm, you come with your basket, I come with mine, Nicholas comes with his.
Two and a bud.
At the end of the day, how I process that tea, I will come up with different products.
So that's
the
how you
green
get
leaf
black
is the same.
tea or
I will
green
get
tea?
it black or green. Because when you talk of, for example, black tea, it has gone through a certain process. But when you talk of green tea, some steps have been omitted, if we can put it that way, so that you are preventing this same green tea from turning black. Yes. There are others that can also be partially processed. Instead of now becoming really black, you can have it midway. You can have green, you can have another one, oolong, in between, and then you can end up with still another one, depending on which step did you stop the processing.
Mr. Moy, you know when you say black tea in Kenya, ni chai bila maziwa. So that is black tea. What is black tea?
In the tea trade, when you talk of black tea, that is tea that has been processed through the factory. It is an elaborate process where you start with a process that we call the withering. Withering, you are trying to reduce the amount of water that is in the tea that we have said we have plucked from the farm. And it takes quite a bit of time, say a minimum of about 8 hours. From there, it goes now to the process of cutting. Once you cut that, the way he has mentioned about CTC, you now go to a process we call fermentation. Not the fermentation of the alcoholic fermentation, no. In the trade, it is called fermentation, but it is an oxidation process. Once you are through with this oxidation, then you go now to the process we call drying. From drying, you now end up with the sorting. Sorting is the same as grading. Once now you go through this process, you end up now with the black tea. If at the cutting time you did not want to go the entire process of fermentation, you can now come up with green tea.
So green tea is one that has skipped the fermentation stage.
The green tea will have skipped the fermentation stage, and you'll have to treat it in a manner that we call, for example, blanching, such that that fermentation does not happen. In tea, technically, the fermentation starts immediately you pluck that leaf from the bush. The fermentation process starts, but you need to control that so that you don't go the entire process.
How do you determine what to pluck?
You determine what to pluck because the industry standard requires that you are plucking 2 leaves and a bud, because this is the one that the highest concentration of the chemicals that are responsible for giving you good quality tea. The lower you go, then the poorer the tea will be.
And what is it that we use as a standard to determine whether the tea is of high quality or low quality?
There is a category of tea professionals we call the tea testers. And the tea testers is somebody who is trained. There is the art part of it, and then there is the science part of it, because you have to understand all these issues about the flavors, so that once you get that cup of tea onto your mouth, on the tongue, you are able to distinguish certain characteristics of tea, where you'll say, this one is plus, this one is plus, this one is plus, but this one is minus, this one is minus. In the sense that, even by the visual appearance of the leaf that you have looked at, you'll be able to say, this tea is not attractive. So a tea taster will be able to tell you, this tea has been properly made or it has not been properly made.
So why then do you blend tea? If we've already understood that you go through this process and then this process produces this, so why?
The main reason why people blend tea is because of costing, and also because of you want to get a distinctive taste. As Anthony has said, there are different types of tea, and these different types of teas, in terms of infusion, give you liquors in different percentages. They are not the same. So that is now where the blending part of it comes in. Yes.
So and again, to add on to that, at times you find that you'll be having teas from different parts of the world, and there is a customer who would like a different experience with the tea. What you do is you realize that if you get tea from, say, a country X or a country Y, or even from the same country but from different factories, like now I have been in tea for the last, say, 30 years or close to that. If you get tea from, say, a certain region of Kenya, it is slightly different, and it has some specific characteristics that are different from tea from another part of Kenya. So if you now come up with a blend, you might find that, and also for business purposes, because you might be producing very expensive tea, and you find someone would not like to, would not afford that tea, so you have to ensure you blend to come up with a blend that is affordable and at the same time good quality tea to drink.
All right.
Yes.
Last question for now.
For now.
For now.
Yes.
So when you say you blend teas, like specifically now in Kenya, are there certain teas that you use to blend with others? Are there some teas that are preferred as good? My term here, not yours, a good blender. This one is what we use in order to get the sort of teas that we want, or give us the right sort of mix that we want.
I did not get you clear.
All right.
Yes.
Si chai ni chai.
Chai ni chai.
All right. Now.
Until you realize chai si chai.
Chai, exactly. Now, we say we are blending. Okay.
Yes.
So now, this one comes from this area, has this flavor, but you talked of quality.
Yes.
Now, the tasters have told you this one is of a high quality.
Yes.
So, are we going to take this tea that we consider to be high quality to blend with the others, or are we going to blend these ones which have a low quality together? How are we going to determine where each tea is in the pecking order when we come to blending?
When you are blending, you'll be blending it from a perspective. If you are blending it from a perspective of a trader or a businessman, you'll be trying to look at your profit margins. There will be very expensive tea, for example, but with a certain characteristics. Yes. And if you are to offer that tea in the market, some people will be saying that price is not affordable. So what you'll also do is you'll try to not necessarily to bring down, but to blend with the tea that is also very close to this, not very expensive, so that this price is affordable to the person, the consumer.
I'm going to tell you why I'm asking this question. I've often been told of a tea called PF1.
Yes.
What on earth is PF1, and why is it called PF1? Why is it not DTW?
Now, the tea, the origin of tea is in China, and therefore most of the names will be having some names that tend to originate. The origin is Chinese in one. Yes. For example, when you talk of the normal CTC production, there are 7 grades that comes out of that tea. Normally, the first grade is called BP1. The BP1 are bigger border particles, which is broken PECO 1. Broken PECO. PECO is PEKOE.
Oh.
PEKOE.
Yes, broken PECO.
Which language is it?
Sounds Chinese.
That is now originally Chinese, but it has been domesticated until we now come. Now, to your specific question, what is PF1? PF1 is a PECO Fannings 1. The same spelling for PECO, then Fannings, FANNINGS. Fannings.
Like
PECO Fannings. Like Fannings.
Fanning.
Yes.
So it's one of the 7.
It is one of the 7 grades. There are others now down there, like the PECO dust. Then there is dust 1. Then you have fannings. Then you have BMF, and then you have dust. Dust 1 and dust are the same teas, but one is cleaner than the other one. When you talk of clean, one does not have a vumbi in it, whereas the other one is very black and clean.
Are there people who
To add on
prefer?
that,
Yes.
Sorry,
To
Nicholas.
add on that, the BF1 and the PB1 are considered as primary grades.
Why?
Because in terms of, we are saying international standards, they are considered the highest in terms of quality.
In the whole world of tea.
Yes.
Okay.
And specifically, if you are talking of CTCTs now.
CTCT.
Yes.
You have not gone to orthodox. You
Yes.
have gone to
Specialty.
What is done to it to make it premium? Because I would assume that it comes from the same batch as this dust
Does all come
dust.
from
It does
Camellia
all come
sinensis.
from 2 leaves and a bud.
Yes.
So what has been done to this premium tea to make it world class?
As I explained that after you have gone the process of drying, because you have to dry the tea to make it in a drinkable form, there is what I said grading. We call it grading or sorting. When you are sorting the teas, once you process the tea, and I have said it comes out with the 7 grades, you have to segregate these grades. They are totally distinct from the same 2 leaves, the same Camellia sinensis, but because of the machinery used in grading, you'll find some particles will be bigger and broader than others. So the first rank you do is in terms of the grade particulate nature, big, small, like that. So that BP1 is bigger in size, followed by PF1, followed by PD, followed by dust 1. Then what you are calling the secondary grades are the ones, because when you process this tea, that 2 leaves and a bud, the lower tip is likely to produce some teas with the fiber. So these fibers, or some items that will be looking like small sticks, that is now the one will form the other secondary grades, which we are calling the fannings, we are calling the BMF, and then the dust. So
Are there
this one
people
will
who
be
prefer?
superior.
Are there people who prefer dust?
Yes.
They're like,
There are people who
I
prefer
want to
dust.
take dust. What do we take in this country on an average?
Dust.
Eh?
In the tea bag. Dust.
There are markets that prefer dust, secondary grades, and the BMFs.
Why?
Most of the things, I think, we attribute this to water, the type of water, because you see some countries have hard water, and then some countries have the soft water. So when you go to Asian countries, this like the Somali countries, they will always prefer to take the PMFs, the dust ones, because they give out more liquors. They are even very strong because of that, the particulate nature.
The second aspect
chai
is also
tungu.
about
Yes.
the cost.
Yes.
Chai too. Now that's where the issue comes in.
Even the cost.
You also realize the cost, because these primary grades are more expensive than what you call the secondary grades. So if your pocket definitely is not very comfortable, you still want to take this
So,
chai,
Anthony,
about the chai.
You have talked about what tea do we take?
Yes,
Yes.
that's what I want to go back to that
For
question.
Kenya-
When you go to any home, karibu chai.
Yes.
What are we taking?
In Kenya, we take all these types of teas. But it will depend on how selective are you in terms of choosing. When you go to the supermarket, all of these teas will be there. And what you choose now is now what we can now zero down to.
Yes.
What did you choose and what is it? To a layman, chai ni chai.
Chai
tu.
ni chai.
But for me, as a tea professional, I will be able, even when I open the packet, I will tell you this tea is really not the tea that we
Okay.
talked of.
In terms of percentages.
Yes.
Okay. What does the ordinary Kenyan take? Are we taking BP1 or are we taking Dust 3?
It is a blend. Kenya, most of the teas that you get in the supermarket, these are blended teas. Except when you now go to a specific advantage of one factory, like Kiptagich, where we shall be producing a single grade that we are going to sell, and that is the Assis Premium Tea, which is a pure PF1. Without any blend, without any addition, without any subtraction.
How
and
expensive
that makes
is
a
it
difference.
comparatively?
Not very expensive. It is affordable.
It is one of the affordable
Yes.
brands.
Yes.
And it is actually what is happening right currently in the Kenyan market. People are very keen now on what they are consuming. So from that perspective and understanding the consumer, we are able now to bring that experience and give you the best. Because as we pick the tea, we process and we package. Yes.
Let's take a break. After we come back from the break, now we've heard about tea, we have a better understanding or maybe something clear on the issue of tea. We will go to Kiptagich. They are now producing tea. They'll tell us, so what is this tea that you are producing and are you packaging and what kind of value addition are you doing? All those conversations after this break. It's Kenya's biggest conversation at 7:30. Our guests this morning are tea experts. I don't know. Wine, they're called sommeliers. The others are called, what do you call tea?
Tea master.
Tea master.
Voila. Okay.
So we have tea masters in the studio with us. Anthony Moy is a general manager and Nicholas Cheriot is a sales and marketing manager from Kiptagich Tea Estates Limited. We'll be back shortly. We'll also be telling you about tomorrow, which is International Tea Day and why it's important.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The conversation continues in the Situation Room. This morning is Eric Latif, Nduo Kosi, T. Muga, and our guests are Tea Masters, Anthony Moy, General Manager of Kiptagich Tea Estates Limited, and Nicholas Cheriot, who is a Sales and Marketing Manager. We have had conversations about tea in the studio, of course, not to this great detail, but, from the point of policy and the presidential directives. Okay, so we have tea has been for a long time one of Kenya's main exports. And then we get to a point where farmers of tea are complaining that they're not getting their returns. And the president says, okay, we need to start thinking about how to get value addition for our tea. What is it that we need to do for value addition? Now, at Kiptagich, you have your own Camellia sinensis covering 1,200 acres. And then you also have a factory. What are you doing in this factory?
Thank you for bringing in that. At Kiptagich Tea Estates Limited, we have had the call for value addition. And we have been packing the tea. Let me just go back. In ordinary factory production, most of the factories that we have in Kenya, most of their tea they sell in bulk. And therefore, when you sell it in bulk, you just take it straight to the Mombasa tea auction. Now, in Kiptagich, 40% of our tea, minimum, we sell locally by ensuring that we do value addition, and this is where the Assis tea premium comes in. When we produce tea, what we sell at the Mombasa auction, we sell it under the name of marks of Kiptagich Tea Estates. Then there is another one that we call Tinet. There is another one that we call Kongoi. That is what we sell at the auction. But when you come now to the local value addition, where I have said over 40% of our tea is sold locally, we produce now Assis premium tea. And we are taking even this now further, where you are now taking it and producing more varieties to ensure that most of the people who have been taking our Assis tea premium, they have been asking, is it only Assis? What else do you have? And I would like to ask Nicholas to continue the other part of what is it that you are doing.
Yes, thank you. Now that most of our consumers have really enjoyed our tea, because perhaps you have seen the blending is done by tea masters. So they have really appreciated our product, and they are asking us, what can you do? What else do you have? So we have decided now to introduce other varieties of Assist Premium Tea, which we are launching it tomorrow. 7 new varieties. We are launching Tangawizi. Already we have Tangawizi, but now we are now bringing in the tea bags aspect. Tangawizi. We are now launching purple tea, uniquely from our factory. We are now going to package green tea, uniquely Kiptagich tea estates. We are now going to pack the black tea and envelope tea bags, just like Assist Premium Tea. And then we are also going to introduce the lemon tea, and then the one herbal infusion, the hibiscus flower. So all these are just produced the same way like the Assist Premium Tea, because we are coming to answer that question, that what else do you have apart from Assist Premium Tea?
You know, it makes for a very interesting conversation. At what point did you as an institution decide that you were going to invest in this value addition? Because given the time when you told us the history of this company,
Yes.
I am certain this didn't begin then. So when did it begin, and what is it that made you think along those lines? Beyond the call that had been there,
Yes.
what is it?
This has been going on now for more than 10 years with Assist Premium Tea.
Yes.
But now this new edition is coming as people have enjoyed this Assist, because initially the purpose of value addition was that I have mentioned about the Mombasa auction.
Yes.
Sometimes the prices keep on fluctuating and you have no control over that. And therefore we decided for us to improve on the income for the company. And that time we had a lot of problem getting tea locally, because most of the tea was being produced for export. But right now, once we started now providing Assist in the local market, people have now said, oh, you have been giving us very good teas. What else do you have? For example, when you find that you have that good tea, they also wanted to see what other variants can we add to that. And that's why we are coming with the other variants like Tangawizi Chai. It is the same Assist Premium Tea, but blended with Tangawizi. We are also having the one which is blended with lemon. So these variants are making us to reach a wider client base. Because when you go to a supermarket, you see all the teas, then you're asking, Assist is there, yes. But what about the other one which is with some other flavor? So that is why we are responding to that.
And to add on that, the purple tea is from our farm. The green tea is from our farm. And we took time to process, to develop that tea.
Yes.
Because this tea is uniquely Kiptagich.
When you come to tea growing, there are certain aspects that also makes it have an edge. For example, the altitude at which the tea is grown gives it a certain characteristic that you may not find in anywhere else. Kiptagich Tea Estate is located at 2,450 meters above sea level.
Okay, in feet?
2450 meters.
Just
2450
multiplied by 3.
Multiplied by 3. You come to around 7,600.
One of the highest.
So this is one of the highest locations in tea growing.
Yes.
So that unique characteristics will tell you when you are getting tea from Kiptagich, whether Assist Premium Tea or the other variants now with the flavors, you are getting nothing but the best.
So essentially, from what you're saying here, I mean, which also for me is a pet issue, is that from what you've talked about, the circumstances under which this tea is grown, the fact that you're taking time, like you said, to really make sure that you've developed these different varieties, then we're essentially saying that you can compete on a global market, and essentially dislodge those global brands that are taking up space on the shelves here in the supermarkets. Because oftentimes Kenyan tea is exported and it comes back onto Kenyan shelves in variants, right?
Yes.
So essentially what we are saying is that for Kenyans who are looking for something different, you actually don't need to go to those other brands, but that you have a Kenyan brand here that is competing on a global scale. Can we confidently say that?
Yes.
Oh yes, we can say that because even as we talk now, our Assist Tea Premium is already available in America in AES Foods. Already, it's in the stores. So we are now going for more markets. We are also making some other teas that we are right now selling in China. We are also selling some other teas that we have also rolled in France. And so the world, there is a lot of future.
Because as to add on that, we can compete very well in the global market, because as you have heard, we are blending purely PF1, and Kiptagich is one of the leading brands even when you go to Mombasa auction in terms of quality. Yeah, we are among the leading, so you can be rest assured that we are coming in to revolutionize the market. We are coming in to give a different experience to tea drinkers in Kenya.
Now, even as you say that,
Yes.
at the Mombasa auction, oftentimes we find that there's a premium tea that leaves Kenya's shores, then
Yes.
to go out, and then who's going to do whatever.
Yes.
Is there a premium brand that's left behind in Kenya for the local market? Because oftentimes that's what we find, that you're left with, what's left over after the export has happened.
What is left in Kenya is Assist Premium Tea.
Okay.
What again, as you're talking about the international market, when you have this quality of packaging, because packaging is key. First of all, there is the aspect about holding together that product. And then there is the aspect about maintaining quality for that product. And then there is the handling aspect of that product. If you look at, for example, what you are talking of now, this one, the tea bag. If you look at the paper that has been used, this is a package of international repeat. And you'll be able to get it anywhere. You'll maintain the freshness, you'll maintain the quality. And when you open your tea bag, you'll find it is having a tag. This is to ensure that you are processing, you are making your cup of tea in a very hygienic manner. You will not touch that. You just put it in hot water, and from there, wow.
So I hear you to be saying this, Bonamwai, that the same tea that I will drink in the US is the same tea I can drink in Kenya.
The AES Foods has stored Assist Premium Tea, and there is nothing else they have done. The way I have packed it in the factory, it is in the American shelf as we talk today.
And it's the same that we'll find in our shelves here.
It is the same tea you get in because we are listed in most of Naivasis. We are in a clean shelf and several other top tier supermarkets. What you get there is what you get in America. When you come to Kiptagich, we do it first time, and we do it well, and we do it for all of our customers without saying this is Kenya, this is America. It is the same as its premium tea.
When you were explaining about your value addition, you said 40% of the Kiptagich tea is sold locally.
Locally, yes.
So 60% is exported.
60% exported.
Out of that 60% that goes out,
Yes.
how much of it have you done value addition?
When the tea is going out, we sell at the auction. The buyers buy now from the auction. That is the 60%. Those are the buyers are the one now to do the value addition by either breading or packing in whatever way they do. But for our own factory, the 40% is what we now pack using the small packages. That is the Assist Premium. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a case for you to actually process a lot more and take it to the market as processed? Would it give you a competitive advantage? Would it earn you more?
If we do it by value addition, it gives us better revenue. So, and that is why we are saying, if we have been doing Assist at that 40%, by the introduction of these new variants with the flavors, with the assorted flavors, we will now be in a position to improve this to even maybe 50%. And that will be better returns for the company, better returns also for the country, and better returns for the farmer. Yeah.
How many new variants again are you introducing? That's you're launching them tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yes.
21st of May.
Yes.
Which is International Tea Day.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about what these new additions are and the thinking behind each of them.
We are going to launch 7 new products tomorrow. It is International Tea Day. It's a day to try a new flavor. It's a day to host a tea party.
But not the Boston variety.
Not Boston style.
So the thinking behind these new varieties is that because of that uniqueness, the high altitudes, we are giving now the value proposition to Kenyan market, whereby because of those conditions, we have the liquors for these products are excellent. The liquors, when you liquor it, it gives you color. It gives you also the taste.
What is liquoring?
The liquoring is when you are making tea, you can say this tea is strong. This one is a little bit big. Not strong, you can see. So that is the liquoring process. Does it have a strong liquor? Does it have a weak liquor?
The process where this particular tea engages with water.
Yes.
And so that byproduct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. To produce that color,
Yes.
that is now the liquor.
That's the liquor.
When the product, which is the tea,
Yes.
now meets with the hot water.
Yeah.
Whatever now comes out,
Yes.
that process is the liquoring process.
So mtoto yao anaitwa liquoring.
In total liquor, not liquoring.
Liquoring
When you
process.
go through the process of liquoring, the
get
product is liquor.
Liquor. Yes. So, for example, the one that we are introducing is because now that we are going to this international level to compete, most of our customers now want tea backed in a chenic manner. That means it has a tag, it is enveloped to maintain the freshness.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. I think also we just, I mean, speaking for someone who's inside and then sees it outside as well, I think the realization of really how special tea that is grown in Kenya is compared to those on the continent, for example, who don't have it. It really is a big deal.
Yes.
And so my thing now is in terms of communication about homegrown brands and really what they can do for the country. And then even beyond that to the continent. I think of Canada and their maple leaf. My God, it's really nothing that special. But the noise that they've made about it has been unbelievable. Right? So here we are with a brand that is world renowned, you know? I mean, Kenyan tea itself, before you even start getting to the different companies and organizations. What do you think needs to happen to make it something that is in everybody's mouth and mind? You know, to say, look, here we are, you're able to do it right here in Kenya. You're not sending your tea out to be refined and then and then brought it back into the country. All of that entire process is happening on Kenyan soil. How much more noise then can you make about it?
For a start, before Nicholas comes in, when you come now to the tea industry in Kenya, the Tea Board of Kenya is the main regulator. They are charged with that responsibility and mandate of ensuring there's the proper marketing of Kenyan teas. And they are creating a lot of forums where we are able to go and showcase our products. Like now, even the day before yesterday, they were in Kericho. And we also had the Afri-Cities Forum in Kisumu. Those are the areas that we as a company, Kiptagich, we are able to ride on. So when you come now to the Tea Board as the regulator, the one charged with the responsibility of marketing and ensuring that the Kenyan teas gets access to all the other corners of the world, they have that big responsibility. And so far, they are doing so well. So what we as a company, we are also doing is to ensure that there is a proper communication, there is a proper advertising, and then there is also proper ways of getting customer feedback. And we have, even when we are doing even from our website, we are able to indicate what products do we have. And then you can easily give us, even some of the traders who are trading with us, they have gotten our contacts from there, and we have been able to see, but we still have a lot more to do.
A lot can be done. Anthony, you've been here, you've said close to 30 years in the tea sector, in the tea industry.
Yes.
You have seen the ups, the downs, the ins and outs.
Yes.
You've seen the politics of tea. You've seen it coming to a national level and everything else. Now, if you look at how the tea sector is structured, do you think we are structured in such a way that we can actually continue remaining competitive in the global market? Or are there some tweaks and amendments here and there that are needed for us to remain competitive?
So far, so good. But even whatever is good, it can be made better. In the sense that when you look at, for example, the agriculture, there is need, for example, when you look at tea and the amount of money that it earns as foreign exchange. For your information, some of the countries in the world, they have the Ministry of Tea because of the significance that is attached to tea. If you look at the Kenyan context, the amount of money also that comes in, the dollar inflow from the tea, it also requires a more serious thought than it currently is. Some of the challenges that have come, Some of them are not generated internally. Like now, anything happening even in Ukraine, happening in Pakistan, it will just come home. If you are affected by that, people will be complaining, but in the essence, we are not the root cause. But when it comes, we need to have systems that can safeguard that they do not affect the farmers to an extent you are selling tea below the cost of production. Because the cost of production is the biggest problem. It's the elephant in the house.
Yep.
Because when you start selling now below the COP or the cost of production, you'll be having very little remaining to pay that farmer who has toiled and moiled. Even when you're in a private estate, you still have your own cost of production. However, there is need to address right now the issue of the agriculture, the framework, so that we have a policy that will be able to ensure even the tea policy. Then the agriculture policy, the tea policy should be very well aligned such that it's absolutely clear to everyone coming in that this is what is expected of me and this is what is expected of all the other players, because there are several players in the tea industry.
I have to ask this question. You rightfully say the cost of production needs to be looked into. But even as you talk about the industry, are there ways through research that you can find so that this cost that you speak of can actually be brought down?
Yes,
Because it works both ways. One, your profit margins go up, but also the consumer has the benefit of now consuming what they like at a lower cost.
One of the strategies that has been clearly and not very well adopted as at now, but it's coming, is the issue about adoption of technology. The technology will come in form of, for example, harvesting of the tea. We are having the machines that are able to produce, for example, 2 people can produce tea for almost even 60 people. So long as you are able to adopt that, you'll also be able now to bring your cost of production down. Because once you are now using the hard plugged, sometimes it is costing you over 10 shillings per kilogram to pay. But when you are using the machine, which you are calling now the mechanical harvester, you are able to bring that cost down to almost 3, 4, 5 shillings at the maximum. So that is one aspect that you can be able to use. And in Kiptagich, we have already partly adopted that.
And someone is already asking, so people are losing jobs because of this mechanization?
There you are. That is what you are saying. You have to balance between. You cannot say you will not adopt technology, because the same technology, you now adopt this technology. People may lose jobs in the plucking, but you are creating jobs elsewhere. So the same jobs are available, only that they are not in this form of plucking, but in form of production. Increase production, you employ more people in the factory.
Ebu, give us now the Kiptagich example.
Yes.
When you go into the machine way,
Yes.
what are you doing about the people who are losing jobs as tea pluckers?
Initially, what we started with a voluntary early retirement, so that you are targeting the people who have already worked for quite a number of years. They feel they want to retire. You give them ways and means, or you now tell them, if you would like, for example, to take your early retirement, you are able to be given a package. That's one. Then 2, those who felt that they would still like to come, we have now, for example, increase the space where we are now packing the tea at the factory. Initially, we used to be a small line where you are packing the assis. Right now, it's a bigger factory. Some of them have already been absorbed in the packing area. So that way, you are able now to balance out. How do you, even if you lose this side, they can still gain on the other side. That is now the Kiptagich aspect. And on a broader scale, that is also what is also happening in some of the other factories that are encouraging value addition in their own factories.
What I've often wondered about, how does this machine, how does it determine
Two and a bud.
that one? I need to understand it.
How does it know two leaves,
Two leaves and a bud, yes.
Now, these machines, they are of various variants, and you may not handle, even when you talk with the hard plucking of 2 leaves and a bud, you say this is the acceptable level, because you cannot get it 100%, even when you pluck with the hands. Only that when you now go to the machine, you'll be able to set, because the estate that is designed for the machine plucking, you have to ensure that the table is very well formed, such that when the machine gets there, you selectively pick the leaf that is as above a certain level. You ensure that the quality is maintained. You may not get that 100% of the hand plucking, but you'll be very close to that.
The hand plucking is assisted with the eyes.
Yes.
you actually see what you're plucking. But yes.
But it's also negatively assisted by speed and the need to fill up your bag as fast as possible.
A compromise position such that you are able to take care of the production, you're able to take care of. But for my case, and giving example, even some of the mark that you produce using the machine plucking, there are certain characteristics that also comes in, and you find that mark even selling even better than what you have had done plucking. So sometimes it happens, and this is evidenced by the results.
Okay.
Yes.
Nicholas, in 30 seconds, now that you'll be launching 7 new variants tomorrow of the Assist Tea, where can one get it?
Okay. We are launching it tomorrow at Nakuru, Naivas West Side. You can get these products. We are listed in Naivas. We are listed in Clean Shelf. We are also listed in Devcos. That is where our products are. And if you want these products, you can get them through those channels. We are also doing fan selling. Anyone that needs, you can always give us a call, and we deliver it to where they are.
Hey, nice. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. Anthony Moy is the General Manager of the Kiptagich Tea Estates Limited, and Nicholas Cheriot is the Sales and Marketing Manager. We have learned a lot this morning about tea and the work that you're doing at the Kiptagich Tea Estates. When you go back there into that cold environment, say hello to your colleagues. Na chai mutatuachia.
We will, and thank you so much for having us today. We are privileged to be with you, and we also want to extend our very warm welcome to all those people who are interested with the Assist Premium. We will be in Westside tomorrow, Nakuru, and that's where we shall be launching our product, and all are welcome. We appreciate all our customers for Assist Premium Tea, and anytime is tea time.
Asante.